That's good.
I think
and then we got Ryan Holmes.
I like that shirt, though. It's a good shirt.
That is a good shirt. I cannot goof on the Ric Flair shirt.
Yeah, this is one of my better drinking Amazon purchases.
Ric Flair will go down as being remembered as one of the greatest of all time, right? And without a doubt.
I think his stock has raised
as he's gotten older.
As he's gotten older.
How is that?
Because of the hip hop community. I think that's been
they embraced him.
Oh my God!
There's a Ric Flair song. Who does that song?
Not just hip hop though, but I also think even just professional athletes. Not saying that he's not a professional, but you talk to when you see the locker rooms of NFL or a Major League Baseball game, and one of the guys like you see your favorite athlete, and when he walks into the door, they're like, oh, damn, that's Ric Flair.
That's Ric Flair.
Yeah. That carries a lot of weight.
And everybody does the woo. I mean, that's man, just think about it. He created that way back in the 70s. And
did he ever talk about how, was it a spur of the moment thing? Or
what's
like
that?
The woo? Like, what's the origin of the woo?
I think the stuff.
A great documentary title, too.
The stuff just came to him, He just did these great promos. And I did see an interview with him talking about it. And he's like, I just talked about what I thought every man really wanted. Limousine riding, the women, all that stuff. And nobody did that at that time. Nobody bragged like that at the time. And at the time, people just hated him because he was bragging about what they didn't have, But as we, as time goes on, like that's, we recognize that that's cool, all that stuff.
I mean, think about how, I say, people remember the way that you make them feel, right?
Yeah.
We had, what's his name, Vader? The guy who...
Invader number one.
And he's like... One time Ric Flair came to a restaurant and he got $100 tip. He remembered a tip from the 70s.
Yeah, and from what he said,
that's insane.
From what he said, it sounded like there was more fervor and everything when Ric Flair came to Puerto Rico than even when Hulk Hogan went there. Flair's just got that. He's created that niche, and it's funny. And look, what a great day when he came in here and we interviewed him, and he was humble. He was.
I don't remember. I wasn't here.
I don't think you were here then. Yeah. And during the break, he walked over and shook my hand, and he gave me the wrestler shake. There's a special wrestler shake, right?
It's a very feminine, weird shake.
But
it is very bizarre.
Back in the day, nobody knew wrestling was fake, or most people didn't know. And if one wrestler met another wrestler, there was a secret handshake that you'd do. And he came over and he gave me the right handshake, and he was like, "I want to thank you so much for what you've done for our business." And I'm like, "You're thanking me? Like, you are Ric Flair. You don't have to thank me for anything." And just a genuine, really, really cool guy. I mean, I know he's had some ups and downs.
We all have. Right?
And we all have.
Yeah, the 30 for 30 documentary was great.
Yeah, very open, very honest.
I think if you're building the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, greatest guys as far as promos, everything goes, it would be Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and The Rock.
Oh, man, you're leaving out the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Without the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, a lot of wrestlers would never even have their career. And he was the son of a plumber. He was the American Dream, and he was every man. You know?
But he's also your friend, and you knew him, and you're putting him up a little bit higher.
No. You ask any wrestler, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes is up there. I mean, he wrote all these different storylines. Even he got Hulk Hogan into wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So,
but he wasn't the big, flashy Flair.
Every year he was voted the most popular wrestler from the 70s all the way to the middle 80s. I know he was fat and you're trying to fat shame him.
Ooh, wrestle beef. You guys wrestle it out. Do it.
Even with a bad leg, you don't want to wrestle me, Jack.
I do not.
Oh, he just told you. He called you Jack. You don't even look like Jack.
Do you know the wrestler handshake? Have we done it before?
I've not done that.
Do you know it? I should
chop
it. Wait.
Lowe's, you got to chop him across the chest.
Yeah, wow. It's not a full handshake.
What? That's lame.
It is. But if you're shaking the hand of a really big dude and he gives you that little shake, okay. They'll only do it if they think you're a wrestler.
I'm gonna start doing it to wrestlers.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? When the two guys that were here the other day with the mask, yes. The older guy did. The older guy gave me because someone had said I'd wrestled, and he gave me the other guy didn't. To be honest,
the Boricua,
but the older guy who I guess actually stabbed
Bronx something.
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody. Yeah. That story, I had to go look that up. That was crazy.
Yeah, I went and looked at. I'd seen that before on a YouTube video, and then I rewatched a couple, and I'm like, oh man, that guy could still whoop your ass too.
Oh yeah. I got to show you a wrestling match with Dusty Rhodes. You've probably never seen it. He's one of the greatest performers ever. I mean, seriously.
But as a kid growing up in the '80s, like that was the version of wrestling. So I got those guys, and I even threw The Rock in as a later one.
Yeah, The Rock.
I knew Dusty Rhodes, but like he wasn't like the flashiest dude.
Well, not when you. Yeah, you're right. You're younger. This was way back when everyone thought it was real. And in Central Florida, he owned the Eddie Graham Sports Center, and he was the biggest thing, here in the state of Florida for sure. But I do like the shirt though. Where'd you get it? The Ric Flair shirt.
It's all Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, so who are your top 4 then? Who would you put on the Mount Rushmore?
American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Hogan, Macho Man.
Yeah. Rock?
Yeah.
I mean, the guys.
But think about this. You don't put current presidents on Mount Rushmore. You put the founding fathers, right? So I'm thinking the founding fathers of wrestling.
Yeah, you got to have one modern one, though, right?
Do you?
Yeah, I would say.
It's a totally generational thing because because
Stone Cold.
If I'm doing it and I'm talking about what drew me, and I'm familiar with Dusty Rhodes, and I was kind of aware of it, and I kind of paid attention. But when I really got sucked into it, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And that's the dude that drew me in. So from him, and then I make a line to The Rock. And then probably The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And all of those are just because they were character driven.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get Brooklyn Brawler.
Hey, just so you know,
never heard of that dude.
While we're talking about this, I was signing some paperwork yesterday, doing some backward deals, like I do, we very well I'll say there's 95% chance we're going to have a bus of listeners that we're going to be able to take to WrestleMania, which is April the 5th in Tampa.
That's cool. They're doing it in Tampa.
Yeah. And look, whether you like wrestling or not, a WrestleMania, as Carlos you can say, it's a freaking event. It's amazing, right?
Yeah. We had a really good time. Russ and I are pretty out of the current wrestling loop. I think I'd brush up before I go this time,
I need to too.
So I can know all the woo woo woo, hey, because there's these hand motions that you got to be part of,
and everybody does it together. And we're sitting there. I didn't know, like delete. I'm like, what are they doing? I didn't know. And I know you see me. I knew that one.
Yeah, but it was really cool. I'm guessing they're having it at Raymond James.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And we're working a deal where we're going to be able to take a bunch of listeners with us to.
Cool.
So a monster bus to Tampa to WrestleMania. I mean, honestly, to me, that's like a dream come true.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's a really, really cool thing. I'm super excited.
I don't even know who would be in WrestleMania this year, who's still active.
Everybody.
But
they bring back
is John Cena still? Because John Cena's got a lot of films coming up.
I don't think he is wrestling right now.
But he makes those like for those highlight appearances.
You know,
like he got engaged last WrestleMania here, right?
Yeah. Remember, there was that whole storyline.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
And Hogan's like right down the street. He'll show up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, it's his town. Oh, it'll be heavy Hulk Hogan, I'm sure.
Sweet.
Because he's back in the good graces of WWE now.
Well, that is gonna be awesome. When is WrestleMania?
I believe it is April the 5th. I looked it up yesterday when we were doing the thing. Yeah, April the 5th. Yeah. So keep listening on how you can win tickets to go with us. That's something we have in the works right now, and I'm extremely excited about it. And like I say, even if you don't think you like wrestling, if you get a chance to go to WrestleMania, it's like going to when I say it's like going to the Super Bowl, it just is.
It's a show,
You're
man.
talking about 75,000 people going crazy, and it is a show with lights, and it's funny and fun, and it's that's all the things that when little boys love about wrestling.
Do you tailgate it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
They're doing hardcore matches out there. Yeah.
I don't know, Carlos. Do wrestling fans drink?
Probably, maybe a couple Shirley Temples, maybe a White Claw.
Okay, cool.
All right, we got a bunch of stuff to hit. It's going to be a great day today, so you want to leave it right here on Real Radio 104.1. Don't